I'm trying to warm myself here with the blanket because it's typical Dutch summer, kind of winter. It's really the same kind of weather as it was in February or March. So I hope everyone's doing fine. I'm literally praying for miracles day by day to actually survive this shit. So that's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna wait a little bit if more people pop up. But either way, I'm not gonna waste too much time. So yeah, double standards is something I really love. Mm, I just had one today calling it. It's in the comments that actually just get automatically hidden. And somebody said that I am the narcissist, and then the next comment was statistics or research how people calling out narcissists are usually the narcissists themselves. So yeah, cheers, buddy. Very good reflection on your behalf. So kind of like these are the tiny double standards of all these wannabe internet trolls. But in the society, I notice how we've developed like certain double standards, especially around the female part of the population. I'll give a really good example for it's like relationship with a minor. So you have a teacher in a school, they'll have a relationship with a minor. If that teacher is a female, they'll get maybe ridiculed, a bit of public exposure, and fired. Rarely, and maybe if parents then prosecute civil litigations, that's when they will go to court. Not very often you see that they actually end up in court and go to prison. Whereas if a man does that, 100%, every time, as soon as there's a report, it will be known, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not saying this is always like that, but on a large scale, when you look at things, how people treat that stuff. Also, when you look at, I don't know, for example, if you look at very often on social media, the comments section, you know, they will not think of young boy in that case as being a victim of abuse if that was a female. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's just one of the topics. Another female double standard is punching, swearing, spitting, kicking, whatever it is, throwing stuff at people. So even just a glass of water. I mean, I've seen people do that. I've seen people being victims of that. I've been actually a victim of these kind of things myself. Nobody will ever say a thing. If a woman slaps a guy in the middle of the street, nobody is gonna go there to stop the fight. We can all see what happens and imagine what happens if the roles are reversed. Hey Amit, I'm from Slovenia originally and I live in Netherlands. And where are you from? Hey Hattori Hanzo. Um, hey Shilpa. I think Irish. It's basically. I think most people. I mean, even myself. I don't want to go into the details. What I actually think about all sorts of child predators. So, and it's you have people who are aware of their problems and they will not act on them, and then you have people who don't have any specific neurological problems and they are still perverted. So yeah. And that I don't know, let's say another double standard, mental health. Um, I think generally there's a lot more focus on helping, which is okay by me, you know, like, I mean, at the end of the day, we all need support for mental health, but there's a lot more support like for females and even these so so-called entitled people from really when you go to the point of like when this certain um, what they call now a billion of pronouns, and when people call themselves, I don't know, cats and horses and whatnot, and I mean, I know probably half of it is just people trolling the shit out of this subject, but on the other hand, there's a bunch of people, predominantly by the looks of it on Reddit, who take this shit really seriously, and it's like, it's not about these people, it's more about how does that affect some very young child that actually doesn't have any idea what is actually real, what's faking, what is just trolling, and all of this stuff. And then we have a double standard to kind of like protect this madness because diversity and inclusivity, but on the other hand, we are completely canceling and like not allowing anyone, including myself, in that manner, to speak about it at all. And I must say, I had one of the best conversations with the transgender people about these subjects because most of them said that they don't really agree with puberty blockers until it's really, really well approved by experts, and then any surgical procedure not before the age of 25 and stuff like that. I mean, for the most part, on the large majority, people are really reasonable. I think the double standards where they come to surface, it's really from the loudest minorities on in the media and social media and all around. That's kind of like how I see it. Let me check a few comments. The people that are causing mental that want to help, I'm not sure if I understand this really well. But yeah, I mean, the point is, I think the biggest problem are the people who tend to point fingers the most and really accuse others the most about any kind of issues are the people who have the highest level of double standards in themselves. And it's really easy for people who tend to play the victim role to get away with those things a lot easier than the rest of the people. So I think that's why, for example, when it comes to domestic abuse, men do get to get a shorter end and get to be accused of being the abusers, although it's a two-way street, way more often, because simply everyone's gonna believe the soft, gentle woman who can't protect herself. I mean, which is bullshit, you know. Like, I mean, it's not that a woman can hurt a man, no, but and a man can protect himself from a woman, but like myself, did I want to be violent or something? Of course not. And when you know, when there's let's say a plate or something flying towards your head, you're trying to do everything you can to protect yourself and still protect her from basically hurting herself. And still, the moment the police is called, nobody gives a shit about the facts anymore. That's it. Because our general double standard was that, you know, that's how things are. Men must be the abusers, and, you know. So that's just one of those. And then political double standards. Oh my God, those are like eye-watering things when politicians are usually the best at that themselves. If you ever catch them saying something and doing something, and then they get reelected maybe, or whatever's going on, they're still on the scene, And people just basically show them their own recordings, and they completely gaslight and deny and start looking for, concepts and contexts of how to explain themselves, but not really ever acknowledge anything that they've really done. Like, I don't know, mega doctor Fauci is one of our best examples of how people are gaslighting everyone and gaslighting themselves at the same time. So, double standards. And the fact that there is, because we just allow people to get away with that stuff, there is more and more this attitude of like, if everyone else gets away with this, so why should I be better and why should I behave better? And this is what we basically see now in the younger generations that are kind of, we're being told that they're pissing us off, but to be honest, I also agree that at the end of the day, we don't really give a damn. Just leave people alone. If you have your own problems, go and solve them as much as you can yourself. Of course, it's not to say that all your problems are gonna be falling on your own shoulders, but you gotta do as much as you can yourself, and there's always gonna be some help coming around, I hope. I mean, in my case, it's always a bit tricky, but if people are gonna start helping each other instead of looking at their own mistakes, then I guess we can go forget about the subject of how long are we gonna still have to deal with this bullshit. Yeah, and the same thing is when cops are totally ignorant. Like, I think it's when you're being abused by a narcissist and you're the one that is so stressed out and so emotionally at the edge that you just appear totally crazy to them. Whether you're a male or a female, you just appear crazy to people and nobody believes you. Because I know this kind of situation was like in the middle of the meeting with all these people, they're looking at me. I was just honest explaining how my life was, that my past wasn't that good and all this stuff. That's why I sometimes react a little bit louder and in a bad way, or I'm gonna start swearing or whatever. But like, I genuinely just don't mean bad to people, and I want to also get better myself. And at that point, they turn around and they ask her, "How was your life?" And she simply goes, "Stable." And that's it. They just ruin your complete story and credibility with one simple word, even though they themselves know that whatever they just said was a complete lie. But the person like that either isn't aware or kind of knows exactly what they're gonna do with that statement until, and then later when the damage is already irreparable, they go, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, I didn't know what I was saying." Well, bullshit. It's bullshit. So that's why, because also when it comes to, like, again, yes, compassion, forgiveness, and all of that stuff, but as I said in more than a few videos before, you make a mistake once or twice, but when you keep repeating that stuff over and over and over again, you've made a choice to fuck someone over, and that's it. So admit it. Stop having double standards. It's easier for me to accept, to say, "Look, I'm a really bad person. You shouldn't trust me. Better to stay away." That's it. Good. Thank you. Goodbye. I mean, I've had people say to me, "You're too good for me. Just stay away." And I really respected them so much for it. My honesty is a call for help. Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a call for help before if I was too honest with the wrong kind of people, because I lacked human connection, that's for sure. And since I didn't know how to create one without boundaries and one with all that stuff, then yeah, I think each and every one of us starts to settle with way too little just because we want to feel loved. So yeah, it was a call for help. Now it's more like a warning for everyone else to really be more At the same time, as compassionate, as disciplined with themselves, and not let anyone ever fucking use them as a doormat. There was like times when I had and the money and opportunities to basically go if I wanted to go, and I still felt helpless because I didn't think of myself as being the person who leaves the kids behind. And what did I achieve with that? Nothing. I just exactly the same outcome, just that I wasn't the one influencing it, other than being myself and, yes, too honest when it comes to, I don't know, calling people out on being the idiots that they are, including the experts. Yeah, in my case, handling so much and stuff, that's been like, yeah, even the strength has a limit because it keeps coming back and forth, and at the end of the day, it's like, you know, can I just have a fucking lunch every day, maybe, and that would be nice. It's so unbelievable to think how much I've actually also contributed and paid for this country, and then all I get is less than to get by, and at the same time, they expect you to be working and productive. They don't give you a chance to be maybe hospitalized for a couple of weeks or something. So like there's no direct solution. Every time you turn around, they go and tell you go to shelter. And I did go to these shelters. I mean, I know how they look like. I know what kind of people are there. Um, let's say I think about a couple of stabbings a week. Some people even die. Of course, this is not in the news because it's about addicts and shit and no people that nobody gives a shit about. So it's not really being talked about. But yeah, bad things happen there. So I might as well just go under my own terms. Yeah, experts were brilliant. Yeah, their double standards are the best. Because I mean, you would think that when they've seen so many different cases and couples and stuff, that they would actually focus on first what you're telling them that is going on, instead of them pushing onto you, you know, there's this attachment disorder and the other attachment disorder and the third attachment disorder and the fifth attachment disorder no one's never ever heard about. So you have anxious, avoidant, confused, and whatnot. I mean, come on, guys, stop making shit up. It's only about whether a person is honest with themselves and with everyone, or they're a hypocrite. Hypocrites and people with double standards are the ones who create mental illness, first for themselves and then for everyone else who gets involved with them. And that's it. It's so freaking simple. And what do? You tell the person who is a victim that they are a victim. You separate them from the abuser. You put the abuser to their place where they belong. And then you start focusing on what the actual victim needs and wants so they can actually find themselves again. It's stupidly simple, and I'm not even a labeled, like, at least on the paper, expert. Ugh, screw the experts, really. Most of them are just the same fucking emotional vampires. Let's dig a little bit more into your past. Let's bring more pain on the surface so I can keep making more money and get paid longer hours. Well, go fuck yourself, bitch. Just get your job done. So, experts. That's one thing I've always been pretty much on a very edge about, because they look at you in your face, they go, oh, I've got so much experience with this and that and that. And then 2 months later, you're talking about them with the situation that they've seen. They've actually seen you, witnessing you and her talking, and they go, well, yeah, the way you were taking that, I even thought you were an idiot. Well, you should have said something, dude. You were there. I mean, what a bunch of pussies, really. They call themselves therapists. The proper therapist will give you a slap in the face and tell you to wake the fuck up, even if you're feeling really bad. I've done that to a friend of mine, and he's been forever grateful. It doesn't work the same with everybody, but with some motherfuckers it works. It's like therapists. I mean, these people really freaking waste of space and money and whatnot. I fixed people within 15 minutes just looking at them sometimes. Talking about bullies who tried to pick on me. It's 3 times my size. Welcome to my darkness, bitch. So yeah, like clinical psychologist when I was 14, 13, 14. I had problems with wetting my bed as a child. Something that's really kind of shameful to admit, but I don't give a fuck, right? Double standards. Put more trolls on me. I don't care really. So there was this clinical psychologist constantly asking me to draw pictures and stuff, and I would be drawing myself playing basketball with friends, and she's like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Can't you see? Me having fun with my friends outside, real time, real life, bitch. What's the problem?" This woman later disappeared, and I was told that she actually went. She actually had to go and take a long therapy because she couldn't figure me out. Pretty much. And I was not like a bad guy trolling her or anything. I was just there being my normal self. A couple of them couldn't figure out how the hell a child with so much trauma and so much pain and suffering can still be a normal child. Yeah, well, really not that damn difficult. Just ask the other kids and their parents why they were so mean. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've seen a lot of double standards in my life, especially the professional ones. Like, I was bullied, but they took me to a psychologist. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I'm just hurt. Ow, ow. So I need a little bit of medical help, but go sort out those motherfuckers because they're the psychopaths. It was always ridiculous. I need more therapy because of the therapists than than anyone else in the end. Basically, the couples therapy that we had, what, but more than a year. That was so efficient that basically what my ex became a much more professional manipulator. Before that, she was at least stupid. She didn't know half the shit that was on the plate. And then suddenly she became the master manipulative narcissist while being. Never mind. I mean, okay, look, I'm not saying that my wife is 100% narcissist. Only she knows her diagnosis. But when I started to look into the narcissistic abuse, like check, 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 check. Okay, fine. And then where did I act like a narcissist? Well, yeah, every now and then when I try to freaking call her out on her own bullshit. It happens to every codependent empath. And I'll admit, for an empath and someone who is, yeah, very compassionate and stuff, don't push my buttons because I will send you to hell if I have to. Not physically, but mentally, I'm able to crush people to the point where I made them cry. And for some of them, I'm definitely not sorry. And for most of them, I am, because I didn't mean to make them cry, but they cried anyway. It was actually just a nice conversation. Maybe I was just a bit harsh because they had their own misunderstandings how toxic positivity works. But yeah, in the end, it's all beautiful stuff. Or I had classmates. The bullies weren't even that bad. I mean, they came, they apologized, but you know, bullies are still tough. They don't really cry, right? Or they cry in their own rooms alone. But all those people, which also hurt me more, the people who didn't do anything, they were standing by, did do nothing, and then they came, and the girls and the boys, and they were literally crying when we had the reunion once. Yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't do anything. I'm so sorry I didn't step in and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, look, at the end of the day, I get it. You were afraid, you couldn't do anything. And if I look at it this way, that hurt me back then. At some point, I figured it out and I dealt with it. And you guys still had to live with all this pain for the rest of your lives until this point. Well, guess what? You're all forgiven long time ago. And then they cried even more. So yeah, it's especially these lovely trolls. Yeah, that favorite mine recent, this last one who said that I've never seen pain and never stared death in life. What a beauty. What a beauty. These are the kind of people I'd love them to see leave the keyboard and their bloody dungeons and mama's rooms and see what they're made of, if there's any flesh on them at all. Or is it just another stupid bot behind the keyboard somewhere? Either a human NPC or otherwise a piece of software. So yeah, double standards. Which one? Also, this bullying stuff. Is the bully like the bad guy? No. It's actually all the people who stand around and do nothing. Double standards. I hope anyone of those are watching this video. Like when you see something getting wrong done and you just don't do nothing, you turn your face away as if nothing is happening. Who do you think you are? What do you think that makes you? A nice person? Coward? Yeah. Someone who is basically enabling the abuse? Yeah. A hypocrite? Well, fuck yeah. Because most of these people who do nothing and just go away, they'll go on internet and be the biggest social justice warriors you can ever see. I bet you my money on it. Poof. I've seen people like that. Activists and protesters. As soon as shit really hit the fan, even Antifa and stuff. Yeah, I've seen a lot of these friends of mine, even back then, when the cops came. 30 of us were in the squad, but when shit hit the fan, only 4 of us were left. Brave jackasses. I mean, and not to speak about the Nazis, you know, they think of themselves, most of these extreme right-wingers just think of themselves because they go and train a bit of jiu-jitsu and UFC for like half a year. They think they're the toughest street fighters ever. Ooh, no, boys. And those hidden stashes of weapons, they don't make you tough. So neither the extreme left or the extreme right, both kind of the same bunch of idiots. The people who were really the strongest and the toughest were the ones that were always most quiet. So here I agree. This is like this quiet generation, the large part of the Gen X and then some of us and stuff. You look and like, why are these people so quiet? Why nobody says anything? You might not want to know the reasons why, because I guess most of these people have already told exactly what they meant to say to a bunch of other people and no one gave a shit. Double standards again, that's why. So yeah. I think I was waiting a long time to fucking say something about all of this hypocrisy. Nah, we do care. I really like what one biker said. He's also like the older Gen X. He said, you know what? We care a lot, but we give 0 fucks. And it's really the best way to put it. If you're a good person, you do good stuff, we're definitely gonna care a whole lot. But if you're a piece of shit, no fucks given. Whatever happens, happens. Good riddance, motherfucker. That's how it is, you know? Like, people think that we're gonna always have to be merciful to every evil goddamn bitch on this planet. Whether it's a male or a female, it's all the same. It's people who are bitching without a proper reason. And then when you find them red-handed and caught doing exactly what they're complaining about, woo, meltdown season. So yeah, I think that's the part where most of us are getting fed up. Like, example, yesterday I came across the post or a video about a guy after 50 years when his wife passed away and they had to do the DNA tests for the inheritance. That man found out that none of his 4 children were his. They found him 2 weeks later in his house, which was trashed completely, dead from heart attack, which was caused by sadness and grief. You can't even say rest in peace to that, can you? Because how the fuck does one rest in peace after that shit? Yeah, that's wow. There was another one I know. I met a guy in one of the harbors. He was together with his wife for 50 years. She meets a younger guy, not too young, but still younger, in the harbor. Leaves everything behind her for that young cock. And guess what she wants? Half of the fucking stuff that these two had together before, with the fact that all of most of that stuff of his was his family inheritance. Like it's not what he made and they made together. No. Stuff that never belongs to her. Cars, pictures, houses, whatnot. If a woman cheats, goes away, she'll still take a half. If a man cheats, woman goes away, she still takes a half. How is that not fucking hypocrisy? Oh yeah, they bring kids. But we keep paying the rest of our lives for the kids. If we even get to fucking see them again. So yeah. Ooh. And I'm not accusing women. It's not that women are doing exactly what they are allowed to do and they were told to do. We're the stupid ones. And the guys and the whole messed up wannabe feminist system, because it put actually women to do the jobs and all this kind of stuff, which for the most part they don't even know how to do them well. I'm so sorry. It's not like everyone is for everything. Like there's women who can be mechanics and there's women who cannot be bloody serving coffee well. Period. Maybe those women who can't serve coffee well are better off being serving something else and someone else. I don't know what. Or I don't, bunch of these so self-proclaimed emancipated OnlyFans, self-employed CEOs and whatnot. Okay, great job. I hope your kids are gonna be proud of you when you have them. Yeah, everyone has a free will and we're not all the same. That's like, I mean, not all men are the same and not all women are the same. That's for sure. I know there's like, God, I've met like a bunch of women who were themselves pissed off about this kind of gold diggers and stuff. I mean, like I watched a couple really good videos today. A man is asking a woman, what do you expect to get when you go on a first date? Like, how much should it be worth and how much does the dinner? And the normal woman will say, nothing. Take me out for a cup of coffee and a walk. That's it. Goddess. Everything else, they will go, I don't know, like whatever. If it's the more sensible ones, but they're still thinking a little bit more indoctrinated, they'll go up to $120 for a dinner, for example. That's sensible. But she's still thinking dinner. So, you know, and guys thinking that they necessarily have to actually fulfill all these roles from protectors to whatnot and stuff. Well, yeah, I'll hold the door, but you still gotta walk through them yourself. So it's really weird. The fact that people who are honest and have the integrity are too quiet. That's our own double standard. We are too quiet. Hello, animals. What am I talking about the most? Unfortunately, because of my own life story and stuff, it's kind of a lot about abuse, relationships and stuff, but I do talk about a lot. Politics, society, science, technology, like whatever you want. Everything that people don't really want to talk about openly and honestly, and whether you agree or disagree with me, it's all about being free to speak about it and communicate. See where we disagree, why we disagree about it, and then find what's common to us and focus on the solutions. Because I freaking hate censorship and cancel culture and woke culture. Well, not hate, but you know, I don't have double standards. And that's pretty much why I'm talking about this today. Well, thanks for the subscription. I can't promise I'll keep doing this a lot because my life is in freaking shambles and shattered. And I'm shattered, feeling shattered, and it's hard. It's really hard to keep pushing. Also, like every stuff I'm explaining here, like in terms of the hypocrisy of the system, how men are being really forgotten, and even though men do a lot of the hard work to keep the society going, are totally undervalued, forgotten, abused and stuff, and nobody gives a shit. Why? Because before I thought that it's always a man's fault to end up on the streets if they are the abuser. Until I ended up being labeled as one and figured like, holy shit, this system is really fucked up. Yeah, it's been hard steps, bro. So really, really hard steps. I've like barely kept myself alive, and I mean it not like from figurative perspective, but I've been also attacked and bounced around and arrested for protecting myself. Like I've been through a fucking story that Hollywood cannot sum up in a movie by now. Yeah, I'm honestly like, before I started this live stream, I had like a unintended power nap. I mean, I'm so like with energy so on and off last few days that I'm surprising myself where I'm getting this from now. All that stuck up stuff in me that needs to come out anyway. But yeah, thanks. I mean, I'm on one hand, as much as I'm beaten down, I'm still trying not to get beaten down, but it's really critical because tomorrow again I need to relocate. I can't stay too long in one harbor as a guest, so I need to relocate, but I ran out of everything, so it's a mission impossible. I don't even have enough diesel to go very far. Thanks, animals. What is this comment about? I don't get anything. I think it's probably just a good comment to remove. Um, yeah, okay, something about this Gen X and which generations, millennial and exennial and stuff. I don't think it really even matters. Like, at the end of the day, what is clear is like more the generational gap between, let's say, before the internet and social media and then after. Yeah, but it's also been moved around. At the beginning, it was like, I know for my generation, it was up to 85. It was supposed to be Gen X, and then they decided to move everything into the like 20-year brackets and whatever. Like before the dot com and after the dot com. That's what I would say, because that's basically when we were living a life outside. Like one short that I made based on the research and stuff. When we were living life outdoors and living healthy lives, it was good. Now it's like all crazy and messed up, and kids are getting more mentally sick, and just the whole society is suffering basically a lot more. So yeah, 67 is Gen X. Yeah, that's definitely Gen X. Where do I belong? I don't know. Nowhere. I'm an alien. I didn't fit well with my own people and don't fit well almost anywhere I go. And I like it that way. Everywhere I go, people love me, but I don't fit anywhere, so I can't stay. I can't stay anywhere for too long. Yeah, I think fitting in is for exactly the kind of people I'm just discussing today. The people who cannot find the spine and the courage to actually just be themselves and be like, okay, look, this is even whether it's right or wrong, but just say it. Just fucking say it. You don't agree with something, say it. Why? Not like, oh, I don't agree with you because your nose is crooked and ugly. Well, that just makes you a stupid ass. Say it. I don't agree with you because you don't have no research. You don't have enough of argument. Whatever. I mean, try to be smart, even if you can't. At least fucking try it. All these trolls are really the kinds of people who are like trying to derail you and say something, but they have no substance whatsoever. They want to bill you 199 a month so they can send you a bill. Yeah, I know. Like these banks are the best. Huh? Yeah, well, look, animals, if people don't like you as you are, one, you need to reconsider your options with regards to the people you hang around with and why do you even want to be liked and why by those kind of people. So, like, I'm not saying you need to look for echo chambers, but kind of reconsider what's the value in that you have and what's the value in them. So, I don't need to be liked by people. I don't want to be liked. I like to be heard. I like to be understood. I like people who have respectful conversations even when we don't really have the same points of views. So, yeah, I mean, it's good to be at home and like or whatever doing your stuff in nature. This is really good as well. So for me, it's like I definitely know that all humans are social beings. Like whoever says, "Oh, I'm a lone wolf. I just want to be completely alone." Okay, you can be like that really oddball. It happens, but at the end of the day, even the people who like to be completely alone still tend to enjoy sharing a good company in life, even if it's just for a short moment. So that's kind of how it goes, It's we're not gonna be surviving like even as individuals in a super happy life if we're gonna keep isolating ourselves. So at the end of the day, whether you're liked or not, you just gotta go out and just be out and be yourself. Like also, people, the world's not gonna change because we're gonna be trying to please everyone or please large majority just to try and fit in somewhere and make a living. That's what seemed to work for ages before, and as we can see, the outcome today is just massive depression, anxiety, and unhappiness all over the world because people were living a lie, mostly to themselves. Yeah, of course it's tough. Like I've been in a relationship which meant everything to me for 10 years, and three kids and stuff. I mean, I couldn't imagine a day of having a life without them. It was not in my brain, and then suddenly that comes, and like you have to, it rips through your body and through your mind and everything, and suddenly you have to change your life completely. Yeah, of course it's fucking hard. If it was easy, everyone would have been. No, then we wouldn't need help for each other, and everyone would be a bloody billionaire. Mm. Heidi, English. Yeah, well, the only constant in life at the end of the day is a change itself, you know, like things change, nature changes. I mean, we can see that everything is changing now so fast that it's even for people who don't mind changes, have issues adapting to changes. That includes myself. I was living off of changes, like technological advancement and stuff. I mean, I was in the middle of it, pushing a lot of advancement in the broadcast industry. So yeah, I like change, but not every change is always positive. When it comes to the way humanity is going forward, deluded, unchecked, uncalled, unaccountable, well, then I don't care what's really happening to the climate, because the rest of us are so fucked that the forests don't even matter anymore. No, it is indeed. I agree. This is too fast. All this age of AI and all this stuff, that's gone. That's loss of control on behalf of all of the society, for sure. I think this is the tipping point when it comes to how the future is gonna go from here. It's gonna get pretty ugly before it gets better. Yeah, kind. Be kind to everyone. No, I would say be kind to yourself. Be compassionate with everyone. Because you cannot be kind to everyone. You can't be kind to a serial killer. You can't be kind to serial child predator, stuff like that. But you can still feel compassionate to the fact that they are so broken and so messed up that they can't function on a normal level. So I think I agree with you. Kindness is definitely a great virtue, but most of all people, you should be kind to yourself first, not at the expense of other people like I was. In the US, this self-entitlement, um, it's a little bit in the cultural part as well. If you look at it, just this kind of the USA is greatest and USA is the best and all this stuff. I mean, to be honest with you guys from the rest of the world, this sounds like super freaking narcissistic and cocky, because like what? We, like, first of all the Americans are basically the offspring of Europeans to begin with, and immigrants, historically speaking. And then the second thing is, like, there's a lot of stuff, even in NASA, for example, there's like more than 50% of people who came from abroad. They're not Americans. And they got the American citizenship and then they work there. Not even speaking like just now, but even before. Werner von Braun, for Christ's sake. A fucking Nazi. That's your director of NASA. The people who developed the rockets which went to the moon. So it's like, you know, it does come from this. Not just, and I'm not saying that now United States is being blamed for the entitlement of the modern generation and the kids. No, that comes from this weird eugenicism. Because eugenicism in principle is like, so that's one kind of funny wordplay. You have generational warfare, and you have the gender warfare. Yeah, and then you have the gender ideology. It's all about the genetics. And I'm better than you. My cock is bigger than yours. That's eugenics. That's basically the idea of eugenics, that one person is better than the other, either on the basis of some genetic advantage or whatever other bullshit advantage. And guess where that comes from? Well, yeah, from the richest people, from the elites, so many hundreds of years ago. They were the ones that started the fascism and all this stuff. They started even the communism just for the sake of, like, let's split and divide people, make them compete with each other and hate each other, while we keep feeding on their fucking energy and also every resource that they have. It's that really fucking stupid and simple. Yeah, man, the God complex. Yeah, you tell people, you give people a belief that whatever they are doing is for the good of others. And this is something that I was also deluded with. And whether it's like now medical science, whether it's now this extreme leftism, which took completely another radical shape and form of fascism and stuff, these are the people who are so deluded that whatever they are doing is good, that it's like, you know, whoever is against them must be a really evil, bad person. Even though you have all the evidence that their mindset is completely destructive. The social engineering and manipulations that's been going on for at least since we've had the newspaper and the TV, so the mass media. But one of the first tricks that started happened in the 1905 when the life and health insurance companies owners came to make a deal with the US president. Yeah, of course, research pays off, but there's so much propaganda everywhere nowadays that it's really hard to avoid. Like, you get deluded by left, right, even in the middle, and then also a bunch of so-called conspiracy researchers and theories that also don't really know how to do their own research. It's tough. So, like, let's just admit that even myself, I still end up being opinionated, whether I like it or not. This one I like. Any side you pick keeps playing the game. That's exactly how it is, yeah. And this is the point of this is exactly the principle of the double standard. Like, you take Russians versus United States or Russians versus Ukraine, two sides of the same coin. Especially when you look at Putin denazifying Ukraine with the most Nazi freaking battalion that he could have, the Wagner battalion. It's an irony in itself. And whoever believes that these people actually go and hate each other on the top level is a freaking clown. Yeah, the library and good old-fashioned books, but still, those books were written by the people who won in the history. Like, our books in Yugoslavia were actually way more objective because we were not going as part of the USSR and we were not going towards the West. So it was way more objective about what really happened during the First and the Second World War and who was funding the Nazi party and all this kind of stuff. It was pretty much kind of like not all there, but as much as at that point was known and declassified was there. There was not so much bias, even though we had socialism. That was pretty curious. So socialism, well, at least Yugoslavian type, was not really going like, oh yeah, we're the best, we are the only ones who know everything. But there was no freedom of speech, mind you that, so. Oh yeah, they all have drinks for the happy hour together. Come on, I mean, look, Putin is trained in the Youth for Leadership program from the World Economic Forum, just the same as the Macron and this Canadian Prime Minister idiot, blackface, and all these people, all, especially if they're from the same generation, they literally have been in the same students program at the same freaking year, 25 years ago. Look it up. So if you want to know where all this is coming from, this entitlement and this kind of mass hypnosis and manipulation with people, yeah, like straight up from that same source. Because that's where all this propaganda started. I mean, 20 years ago, being gay was like totally radical and all the people were like marginalizing these people. So people like myself were going to the gay parades because we had to support them and protect them from the fucking fascists. And now, most of the gay parade are rainbow-colored pink tutu fascists. Oh, the irony. Oh, the irony and the double standard. The hypocrisy. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that the replay of this video is going to piss off a bunch of people, but can't care less. Look, the principle and the point of this video is for everyone who is pointing a finger to first point at themselves. The good old Jesus way. If you have no sin, throw the stone, motherfucker. No, I didn't see. I mean, there's lots of stuff, of course. I don't even want to go. Like, I support people's rights of all kinds, human rights of any kind. But when it's exaggerated, it's exaggerated, and it doesn't matter whether they're Muslims or gay people or white people, or I don't give a fuck. When you are imposing your own rights and your own beliefs onto other people who are weaker than you and they cannot have a choice to speak for themselves, you are simply a fascist and a bully and an aggressor and the kind of people we don't like in this conversation, simply. This bringing kids to the kind of parades where there's loads of nudity. I'll say just this. Let's wait. Let's ask the kids when they grow up. I know what I think about nudity when I was a child. Sorry. Those parents, like, again, they're convinced that whatever they're doing is good. So we must be compassionate towards them. I'm not judging. They are indoctrinated, deluded and stuff, and you know, as long as they don't really tell the child that they don't brainwash their children themselves, that they actually ask the right questions and make sure, because I know parents of trans kids and I know parents of kids who made their kids messed up. So there's both sides. Yeah, who cares what adult and consensual people can do in their bedrooms? Let's be accurate. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I pretty much listed all my favorites list of double standards. Not sure if I've forgotten any. Oh, yeah, parenting stuff. That's also something. So the other day I made a video that, you know, if we want to develop kids who are mentally more resilient, we should let them do more of their stuff. Of course, I do agree, definitely a generalized subject because it does not incorporate all the disabled and mentally different and neurodivergent kids and all this kind of stuff on the spectrum, and on the spectrum which is not functional autism and stuff. Yeah, of course. But even then, you look at those kids, and I'm speaking out of experience. I'm not like a person who hasn't seen kids with disabilities. Quite on the contrary, I've been around those kids quite a lot. And the more independence you can offer them, the more choice that they can make, the happier they will be. A lot happier. So that's what kind of meant. And then I watched the clip from Jacques Fresco, which is not like, I'm not a fan of Venus Project and Jacques Fresco, but some of the stuff, again, you don't have to be a fan of Jordan Peterson, but some of the stuff is smart. So for example, Jacques Fresco was saying when his son broke, well, not broke, the wheel of the toy car came off, and the kid started crying and brought the toy and said, "Don't do something for me." And he just grabbed the toy car and threw it in the bin. And then the kid was even more upset, like, "What are you doing? Why are you just throwing it in the bin? I want to fix it." So, of course, he picks up the toy car, gives it to his child, and lets him actually wander away with it. And the kid, whatever the age, probably around 5 or so, figures out the thing, fixes the car, and then goes, "Look, I fixed it, it's working." And then Jacques Fresco being like, "So how did you do it? This is really wonderful, but how? Tell me." And then the kid explained how he's done it, blah, 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 blah. And the point of this is, it's not that the Jacques Fresco didn't know how to parent. He wanted the kid to have the experience of pretty much, and the emotional depth of like, what happens if you really give up on too quick and just want to give other people the responsibility for something that you can fix, and also that you actually have and a massive creative capability of fixing shit yourself just by looking, this is a hole, this is a stick, it fits together. Because as far as I've seen my own kids, at the age of 2, you give them stuff and they go, keep trying, and then it finally fits and go, ee! They're literally self-rewarding when they do something. And that's what I meant with that video. A lot of parents are such fucking hypocrites with themselves and the kids, constantly doing everything for the kids. But I mean literally everything. My first child, he started walking way too fast. That's the only thing. Now he's got the goddamn sciatica. But that kid would have picked up his own diaper and taken it to the trash bin himself without me actually telling him to do it. So why would I actually stop him? If he likes to do it, if he likes to help, well, here's more, dude. Do more stuff for yourself. He's now 16. Ask him how he feels about that. He's one of the most confident kids and really, really smart at the age of 16 that I can see for his generation. Yeah, look, my daughter, I think she's got a bit of this genetic narcissism because it is genetic. But you know, perseverance, nurture, and all this stuff. And if she even tells me herself, Daddy, it's really hard, I'm trying so hard. I'm like, my darling, I know. And I really love you for it. Let's go have some fun. That's how you do it. Like, it's tough love, and it's with compassion and everything. She had a meltdown. I would sit down next to her. Take your time, take your breath, and we can tell me what's going on. Explain yourself. She explains it. I tell her, well, now that we're here, close your eyes, imagine how you've kicked the ball and blah, 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 pure magic. I have a video about this, I explained it somewhere else. It was so freaking easy. Instead of giving her, I don't know, this, just stop crying and a hug and blah, 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 but never actually give her an opportunity to process what she's feeling, and how she can solve it. That's what I meant. It's not like be tough on your kids, but you don't be, don't turn them into fucking junkies and pussies. So as parents, we have huge double standards, all of us. It's really important as a parent to self-reflect and be responsible for the fact that this child is going to have a future that is completely their own, their life, their own. So don't go like my first ex did. Oh, but he really loves playing harmonica, until he finally had a voice of his own and he said to me, I hated it. Yeah, I know, I saw it on your face, kiddo. Couldn't say shit because she didn't listen to me. Double standard. You don't know what's best for your child. Ask the child. Period. Yeah. And this stuff I talk about the children, it's not something I'm talking the first time. This is exactly what made me a national star in Slovenia and changed the laws and stuff and helped a bunch of other people. I knew my shit. I studied children's rights because I actually had to fight for my own rights as a child already. So yeah, it was kind of funny. Because it was the same thing, like all these professors and psychologists and stuff, they're all telling you, you should take this direction in career, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that. Nobody asked the question, what do people want? And of course, if you're that kind of a kid who's got parents who always do not give a shit about what you are and who you are, you're always gonna just go yes. You're gonna be a yes man. Took me a little while to start rebelling. But yeah. So yeah, kids are actually our teachers, but at the end of the day, we are still their guardians to a point where we protect them also from their own stupidity. That's all I can say. The best mix is like that really compassionate and very, very self-accountable parenting. That should also be the same for all of us, actually. This is, in my opinion, that's the key to any healthy relationship, healthy mindset, and how to be honest. You don't have to always tell everything to everyone. You don't always have to be open with everyone. But just have compassion for people who are difficult and they cannot regulate and express their own emotions. And yeah, be tough enough on yourself that you're gonna be honest with yourself when you fuck up things specifically. Because really, what does it cost to say, I'm sorry, I messed up? What can I do to make it better? Period. And it's not gonna work always because you can't maybe change everything. And then that's what when you just have to agree. Maybe we aren't that compatible. Is that gonna be costing us our lives together? Okay, fine. I mean, breakups can be also beautiful. I've had a couple of beautiful breakups. It doesn't have to hurt. Actually, the hardest breakups are the nicest. Hey, yeah, thanks for all the engagement and cool comments. The Gen X of 67. I don't know how to pronounce pronounce this complicated. Still hop form Cal. Okay. Have a good one and thanks for coming up on the stream. And yeah, me being me. I said I'm not gonna be long and I'm again talking over an hour. Nobody's gonna wanna watch that shit. Anyway. I have kind of gotten off my chest about the amount of double standards and the shit that is messing up society and messing up people's mental health. So, for the most part, it's always ourselves. Either you're a hypocrite or you're not. And I think everyone has a choice and everyone can change. Everyone can change. Even the sociopaths and psychopaths and all these people. They just need a lot more belief than the rest of us. Yeah, but you're watching live. Nobody's gonna watch the whole replay. Anyway, thanks for the comments. Not enough viewers to say that I said something wrong. So. Exercise. I'd like to, but right now the muscle fatigue and shit is so bad that if I do walk 5 kilometers, it feels good, like I've done something great. So I'd love to. I need, I don't know, a miracle by tomorrow. No joke. So we will see. If it goes really critical, I know I'm at least gonna have to switch offline for a while and figure out what's gonna happen next. What's that? There's a bird jumping on my roof. Okay. Jesus. I'm under siege. There's a bunch of seagulls on my boat now. Anyway, yeah, in terms of helping and stuff financially, there's kind of like I can create a link which can be paid with a credit card, but like I said, it's I don't want to hassle people for one reason, because most of the time it gets blocked on the first attempt and then you have to call your bank and tell them to unblock it, and it's a hassle. So, you know, we'll see. Look, what you have is in the bio links, bio links, if you can, like, use Discord. Maybe go to Discord to get me there. Otherwise, it's possible to send me an email there as well if it shows up. Then, if it actually shows up an email address, so we can somehow get in touch. Otherwise, I can try to also put a link to my Telegram profile. A PayPal I don't use for ages. They have been not a very good not very good to people doing business and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't use that. Like I said, if you can come on Discord, or I can put up my Telegram link or whatever it is, we can chat there and see what we can do. Your email is in your description. Okay, then I'll send you my email. You will get it in a couple of seconds after I finish the stream. All right then. Again, yeah, thanks for watching and the support. I really hope I will be able to find solutions and keep on going, because yeah, I have really tangible ideas and projects on my mind to push some of the solutions and connect people together that need help or want to help. It's been kind of a big idea growing with me for a long time. It's there, half developed, but it needs money to keep developing. So it's something I'd like to keep doing. That's why I don't personally, I don't need to survive and keep on living. I've had a full life and a good life after all. It's only for the kids and for others. So yeah, I'll send you an email later. Good night or whatever it is. Yeah, like I said, if you don't get an email from me or something, means that I couldn't send it. But yeah, Discord is there. The link is in the bio. If I have to put the Telegram up there, I will put it also, because these are the kind of two apps that most people are using these days. So, all right, laters everyone. Love you.